And hi, I'm Art Bailey. Again, this will be part 2 of the initial video. The introduction of dynamic body remodeling and self-help pattern was shown to you in the previous piece. This is more for therapists now. I'm a massage therapist by license. We do neuromassage therapy, which is an osteopathic mobilization of soft tissue, primarily connective tissue, within a structural integration venue. Our model Scott's going to help us today, and we're going to show you 2 sessions. The first session is introduction, assessment, and treatment, and the second will be more treatment via the dynamic body remodeling components that were shown to you previously. So, Scott, if you would step right there, take your shirt off for us, come lie on your back with your legs bent. We've done our first assessment. The first assessment we've done on the person was standing. We drew a line from the meatus to the acromion, and that's the only line that I measure. I don't care about the hips or anything. If the head's not back here, nothing else will stand. So put the hips back, take the rotation out, move the shoulders back, and place the head in a more balanced position. That's what the chiropractors try to do using the righting reflex. We do it moving connective tissue. Other people do it trying to balance the muscles. Other people do it energetically. How long it lasts is what I'm really into. I don't want to see the same people that often. I like to see new people. That means we're all getting more benefit long term. Shouldn't have to come by more than once a month for maintenance. Otherwise, don't come by. Worse than we can fix it. If it's not bleeding, broken, or infected, we can probably help it. First assessment then will be pubic symphysis and checking out leg length differences. I don't check the malleolus at the end because you're going to have a leg length discrepancy if you have a rotated hip, but usually the bones won't lie. Consequently, check the patellas, the fibula, tibular lengths, and then do a release for the pubic symphysis. Close your legs, please, as he closes, and if it's too hard to do, then just wear it out with muscle energy. Reach around and hold up, please. Open, and hold, and release. And again, open. Hold, and release. Saw this from the alligator show, you know. Open, and hold, and release. Consequently, with where that sucker out now, his jaws won't work. Now, close your legs, and we open, and we wait and see if we hear a click, a crack, anything that shows that that pubic symphysis was out of balance. If it is, then you've done a marvelous thing. You put it back in balance temporarily. Now we have to go through and release the tissue that's pulling it out of balance, causing the L5-S1 compressive problems. In this position now, let's say the person has low back pain. We'd like to test it. If the feet turn in, it goes away. We know it's in the spine. If the feet turn in and it's worse, it's using the outer ligaments, and you have to clear those first, i.e. a little lumbar usually. With this position, we can fold him to proper height, adjust your table. If you don't have electric, you probably won't do structural well. But in this, I can drop his legs onto my knee, hold his weight, reach back here and feel everything along that band and see the resistance. I can take and add a plasma charge to my MRNDs, which are magnetic resonating neural disruptors. If I find a less compliant area that they may call hurtful, I'll call it less compliant. Sounds better. Doesn't make it hurt quite as bad. Exquisitely tender is a good one. Reach up here, capture the charge, send the ohm frequency into the area, and relax the tissue. This ohm frequency also seems to relax the connective tissue. It has piezoelectric induction that creates that thixotropic effect to happen faster. Nice, easy way to do that. If the back is hurting when we bring this position, we ask straighten legs and push into me, and if they do and it turns off, then you can be sure it's the primary flexor, usually psoas condition bothering you. And if it goes the other way, put your knees towards you, and if I resist, then that turns off the erector component, and that lets you know if it's in the front or back, and sometimes it's in both. But it's not bleeding, broken, or infected. So in this position then, what we can do is we can go through and release that psoas condition, and we can do it this way. This leg will drag up and open, and then it will close, drag down, and out, and open, and close, and down, and out, and open, and close, and down. Now, while they're in that position, what you'll do is reach over and find an ASIS, and go just low below it to the AAIS. You can sit here and put a frequency in that area while they're dragging the leg. If you'll drag the leg in the same position, nice and slow for me, and that will induce a little signal for that psoas to relax. There we go. Now take the other right leg and keep it straight up for me. There you go. And now you're in the proper position. All the way out, back to me. Close the knee and all the way down. So on the way up and out, you're stretching the inguinal ligament. When you're closing, you're stretching the psoas, and that helps break loose the lesion that forms between the locus psoas and the inguinal ligament that causes a lot of the distortions that we fight heretofore not being able to find, rotates the hip and creates the L5-S1 compressive problems, or at least it aggravates it. Because we found when you clear this area, it helps everything from migraines, panic attacks, low back pain, symptoms from diverticulitis, low back compressive problems. There's a lot of things because it gives you back that stability that helps keep that sacrum in the proper place between the innominates. And that's how we clear that problem, nice and easy. So our first assessment was Beatus to acromion. Second assessment, of course, is folding the body and seeing where the torsion is. Okay, third assessment then, we'll put him in a sitting position. You'll roll to your side, you'll sit up, slide all the way back to me. Your hands will come right here. There you go. You'll reach up behind the head, turn the feet in, ask him to push his head up and back nice and slow, and do some rotations to check the spiral rotation in the upper body. As well, you're doing extension, and you're working that longitudinal ligament all the way up the spine, but we're not popping, cracking anything, it's just expanding. Okay? From there, we straddle the table, and we place the palms in an upward position. Doing this opens up the shoulders, allows the excursion of this shoulder girdle on top of the axilla. There's only one bony connection, sternoclavicular joint, therefore this hunk of meat slides over the ribs. Don't make it complicated, make it move. Put it back where it goes and make it move, Dr. Still said. Reach over and hold toward me and reach out, nice slow rotation, and then go to the other side, do the same thing, and check the balance. You can use this head as counterweight to increase the torque, figuring out where the problems are. You can take again your plasma system and sit here and run up and down the spine, releasing a lot of these hot spots. You can do the trigger point work if you'd like, but this basically knocks out the things that cause the trigger points. That's the structural distortion that makes it hold that point. Break that loose, you don't have to work with trigger points. And that's pretty nice. If you lay on your back again, please. At that point, place the bolster back under the legs and go into another assessment. And here we're looking at the spiral band across the knee, almost like a Faber test, but you'll see which knee is high on either side, and that will give you a better determination as well of which band, spiral band, is short and how the body is twisted, and that will let you locate the lesions that hold it there. We work on what's called Mr. Art's Pinocchio syndrome concept, where you put the hooks on the dolls to make them the shapes you want. Look for hook points around ribs where bony attachments hook the connective tissue sac, and within these areas break loose that lesions. You can do that with compression, you can do it manually, you can do it any number of ways, but I'm not going to tell you how to go about doing it. I'm just telling you what to go look for. Look for lesions at the head of the fibula so it rotates. Look for lesions around that ASIS. Look for lesions where it hooks the 12th rib, possibly anywhere along that rib connection. Look for lesions is a fancy word for a piece of gristle that's tack welding you in the wrong place. But we charge a lot more for lesions than gristle. I always ask them, know the difference between a piece of scar tissue and a lesion? $200. It's connective tissue. It's a little tube. It's a fiber. It's full of fluid, cranial fluid, but it makes the whole body in a volume like Legos, and inside of that is everything. The muscles are ratchet, a bubble in the gristle, spikes in the walls, another molecule, myosin, actin. Break the ATP molecule and you have a ratchet. You're moving a bubble of gristle. Multiply it out, so now you see a muscle. You can't see the gristle. You can't see the connective tissue. It doesn't stretch. It morphs sixotropically. It holds the weight. The muscle does a ratchet, moves it around. The bone's a lever system, floats within the body. Bottom of your foot is not bone. It's gristle. Therefore, that lever system acts as a trellis. But understand, the connective tissue is a system into itself. It has a blood supply. It has a nervous supply. Consequently, now we know it's a system within itself. Cutting edge information. And it's sixotropic, 5 pounds, 20 pounds, it doesn't move for 5 minutes. Yeah, you know, it's basically non-contractile, so don't try to rip it off. Mold it into shape. And it works much better that way. If you roll to the side now and sit up again, scoot down to your right a little bit. We're going to put him in a prone position now. Again, doing more assessment. I make a body pillow out of a triangular body pack and a microwavable heating pad, Thayer beads, silicone beads, very comfortable, can hot and cold, however you want to make them according to the temperature for the time of day, whenever you're working that year. And have him put his clavicle here, that supports your clavicle, and the forehead is supported right here, and that gives you a breathing area. It's nice they don't suffocate. As long as the feet are off the end, you don't have to use a face rest. It won't jack your head up. Lay right there, please. Different people do different techniques. Won't tell you how to do your work. I'm just telling you ways of assessing things that you may or may not have looked at. We put a ground potential on a person. The ground potential obviously is patented for wound care. Makes you heal faster. Sucks the free radicals out of your body while you're laying there. And if we apply things like a magnetic induction, we can create a little charge and make those free radicals leave even faster. Reach out and hold this, please. And that is this magnetic core that we have them hold. You can push it together and create a repulsion. It's an isometric exercise, or isometrics. Reduces the blood pressure long-term, strengthens the heart and arteries better than anything else. In this position, we can add more magnetics. We might want to add a magnetic belt. A multipole magnetic core is what we're wrapping around him here. Might want to reach down between the legs and expand it with another magnetic core. All these are similar to the ones he's holding. Lots of magnetics here and a ground potential. With that, we can add the plasma, work up and down the back. You can loosen this up in so many ways. You can dig it out with an NMT tip. You can grab one of my percussors and grind it out. You can use the MRND and charger here, and it's a much easier way of doing it. You know, nothing wrong with getting it done, but if you can get it easier and they survive it better, you all just enjoy it that much more. Because this stuff wears you out, let me tell you. Every action is equal, opposite reaction. When I put that much pressure into him, it's kicking back on me at the end of the day. I'm feeling it, and I'd like to be old and get past this without being so wore out. It's a joy to do the work. Use active engagement. Come across, make his eyes closed, raise his head when he hits that suboccipital, then pull down, turn your head to the right, and you drag. Okay, again, going across, close the eyes, raise the head, turn to the right, and just drag right down. That's that deep tissue work you can use. You can use the tuners. You can use AccuBalls, magnetic AccuBalls. You can heat all this stuff in crock pots. Sit right here, lay them on the ilolumbar ligament. And how about these little hot spots? Straight superior. Nasty little one that usually creates hot spots. Go through the dorsal hinge. You could take a seat belt, put it over here, and put a Thayer bead, hot and cold, or hot, and compress it, and it will take out the kyphosis. You can mold these people into shape, and that's what you're doing, resculpting your body, molding it. Other ways you can do is you can use magnetic acupuncture. Here's cupping with magnetic acupuncture. Just understanding will boil the fluid out of you if you don't pay attention and give you blisters. But if you know what you're doing, you get magic results, just wonderful results. They also make the individual magnetic acupuncture cups. We've had those for years. All proven technology, not something we're just making up. Put these in the right position, draw some current, have a ground on, just suck all this rust out of the body. Free radicals are equated to rust. And if you can imagine that sludge in you, people that just do energy work do wonderful work, but what if the energy is just stacked in you and it's just a bunch of contaminated stuff? If you don't wash it out and clean it out, how are you going to heal? Because free radicals are supposed to go to ground potential. New electrons are supposed to come into our body. We're supposed to be healed by those new electrons. They turn on the cellular healing of the different cells with an analog signal. All that is referenced by Dr. Feisinger on earthing. So it's no wah-wah stuff here, as I call it. People sometimes think it's off the wall, but it's just good, solid science, and we're German. We like to make it better. After we've done all the relaxation, working hands, arms, everything you want, reach down and reflex the GTOs behind the knee and recalibrate the knees. Don't beat them up. Let them run over your hand. Work the GTOs, Golgi's tendon organs. Anytime you can, make the switching system work for you. Don't sit here beating it up. Turn it off if you're going to try to stretch it. A lot of people just don't know how it works, so they bludgeon their way through it. I have done it, been there, and am guilty of it, and feel bad to this day that I didn't know better. But now that I do, there's no excuse for not doing it better. You can repair ignorance. You can't fix stupid. And unfortunately, some people are stuck in stupid through arrogance. How about a little lymphatic drainage? Sit here and brush it out after you've heated all this up. Hot and cold contrast. Brush out the fluid. Follow dermatome. Just drain it nicely. How about a little percussion? Dr. Fulford made a percussor. You can do oscillatory release simply using a hand percussor here. Beanbag, rubber pad. And if you do it correctly, you can do some arthrokinetics. You can recalibrate the proprioception within the joint capsules. From here, you can do some cross-body work. If they're too big, wrap your leg around here. Don't be afraid to lock yourself down with it. Make yourself comfortable. Make your arms work. Take time. Again, using our charger system, a lot of stuff loosens up much faster than it used to. Saves me a lot of energy. But with this, you can check the spiral components of the body and see just how tight you are and where you're tight. Because it's all about get them straight. They quit hurting. That's their tough luck, Rolf said. So from here, you will go back to the seated position again, please. Facing that direction. And you'll scoot all the way back to me. And one more time, we want to test this. Breathing out with an HA syllable. Pull back. Ha. Turn your feet in. They don't push you over. Put your hands back up here again. And slowly lift up and back. You just add resistance. Fold your hands so they don't crush your hands. Or put something in your hands to give you a hand bridge. But you ever check the resistances. And that feels really good. Turn the feet in and stand up. Alright. Now, if you'll lay back down on this side. Scoot toward your edge. Then the bottom leg. Let the top leg fall off. And this will give you a maximum spiral excursion, just like that. Bring the knee toward you and back down. If there's any L5, S1 problems, this usually flexes enough of the SI joint to where you'll get good release. And you can feel where you're hung up. And lay on this side again. And you would do that to the opposite side. After that, you can get them back up and see how they're standing. But you've checked pretty much all the dynamics. The upper spiral, the lower spiral, the prone position, the supine position. And all you got to do is take one measurement from the meatus to the acromion, and that lets you see if you did good. When you're in that figure 4 position, bring your legs up again. You can see the spiral band, which one is pulling too much on the body, simply by crossing the leg into what looks like a favor position. It's not a favor because the knee is up on top, that leg is up on top of the knee, the ankle. But it really does show more of this shortening on whichever side if you're doing this measurement on a bolster. Again, you can reach your figure 4 leg, reach under there to the ischial tuberosity, and you can pull and feel that X band to see where the resistance is. It's all about feeling and seeing how the body negotiates the movement within gravity. This is okay, but the spiral stuff is where you really get to missing it. So this would be your first session. And the second session then, of course, if your assessment has been done correctly, you'll do the dynamic body remodeling procedure, which is what we're going to go into now. If you'll roll to your side to sit up. Turn the feet in to stand up. From here we're going to reload the table with a DBR, Dynamic Body Remodeler. And we already know that inside this is a big magnetic core locked into repulsion. If you'll step to your left, please. So there's a big magnetic core in here. And it's just like this, locked in, and it's constantly on. We're tapping into it when you have a ground potential on. He's going to be lying face down, as it was said in the video, in a traction position. While he's in that traction position, I can accomplish a lot of other work. You can either lay there and sleep through it and wake up and go into the next movement, as was shown on the self-help, or you can have someone work with you while you're in this position. If you would, come around to the end and come up on this, please. And I always say go high and slide down. So if you come up, way up there, and then we just kind of rock and wiggle until the weight comes down on us and hooks into that DBR. The ACES points hook, the hips rotate, they go into still point, and the SOT condition occurs in a balance and expands the thoracic, and you're grounded and charging like a battery. We'll give them another magnetic potential to hold on to, and if they aggravate us too much, we just have them working it to keep them busy. No, truly, as long as we're pushing it together, everything in the front turns on, the back turns off. It allows you to reach into areas by using muscle energy techniques. Again, you can use your AccuBalls, AccuCups. I like using a rose quartz crystal. Nice and hot. I keep everything in a crock pot. I keep the steel balls in a crock pot. They make wonderful hand braces. You won't accidentally hurt your hand when you're working. If you're doing elbow work, you can use it as an oscillator, doing facilitated oscillatory release, using that little bit of weight to drive the pressure in, down through the elbow. Same thing for the neck if you're doing your structural stripping stuff. Otherwise, nowadays I use a lot of the tuner effect. And there's any number of things you can do. Put a magnet between their legs. That locks them into a very solid position, and it gives you this crossover. You could put that multi-pole magnetic belt on. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But something this simple, just reach back and capture the frequency off of your plasma ball, capture the static charge, and with that add the frequency from the tuners. The tuners are ohm frequency. It's not hypothetical, it's proven. The earth rotates, makes a sound, that frequency is ohm, and we are latched to it naturally because we are earth-born organisms. That's how we are. That's why we're born naked, bare feet, no Nikes. And we translate back and forth broken electrons for new electrons through ground potential. And that's the gist of it. We loosen this up in any way you want. Do all the techniques you know, carpal tunnel, shoulder work, you name it. Won't show you 100 new techniques. Showing you some better ways to do it. I can go get coffee, come back, leave them like this, they'll be straighter. But what else can you do, right? Okay, I'm going to take this out. You're going to breathe in and come up, push off with your fists. Stay on the table. Most important, stay on the table. If you get off the table, your back's going to tighten up because you just loosen up the connective tissue shell around the muscle that's been holding the weight bearing all this time. The muscle's going to fire, and they may bust your butt. Can you hear me now? We ask them to lay back on their back, bring your shoulders and place them into the palms of my hands, please. So you're going to come higher than you think, and then you'll slide down. There you go. Better to let them slide. Hook those shoulders. Feel that connectivity. Leave them right there. Again, pick your legs up, please. In this position, we add another potential. What if we take this magnet, put it inside a traction pillow that adds about 2 pounds of pressure. The memory foam picks up from the adjacent pillows, raise your head, and transfers. Molds to the base of the skull via the ropes. You pull, it opens like a clamshell, 2 pounds of pressure, gives you a marvelous neck traction without feeling traumatized. And you reach up and hold this strap. You can adjust this strap by wrapping it around the DBR. And you can get them to help you do things like visceral work. Upper left quadrant, pull down a muscle treats that goes from the diaphragm to the psoas, reach up into the junction of the phrenic junction, open up the breathing, pull down the gallbladder, pull up the ileocecal valve, release the sigmoid colon. Do all that in nice easy fashions and have them work with you, breathing out with the HA syllable ha. He comes here and then in the nose all the way up, and that tightens up. And if you reach down, capture the ischial tuberosity, again come down ha and back up and pull and release and back down to me, and again to the diaphragm, up and pull and release, over to the gallbladder and pull away from it, and again up and release, go below the navel, find McBurney's point, pull up on the sigmoid colon, come down and back up. There you go. So our sigmoid colon, this side ileocecal valve here, McBurney's point, and then again sigmoid colon, come all the way down and back up and pull back. And if you want a traction of bladder, just drop down just above the pubic bone, drop into the void and pull up as they come up. To pull down hydrohernias, it's the same procedure. So the big thing is the mechanics that they give you. And what if you just want to chill out and do more energy work? You can do that. Raise your buttocks, please. Take two of these shoulder bolsters. Now we're using in a beat pattern. Let you lay there. Arms get too tired, bring them down and just let them touch. Otherwise, leave them out. But now you're totally floating, see? Go down and do your reflexology work on your feet. Use your tuners. Sit here and tap off your plasma ball and work through the bottom of the feet and energize all the meridians. Any number of things you can do. Again, you can open up that psoas component. You can reach back here, rotate the arm, bring it all the way back, reach out and hook the inferior border scapula and drag it back without trying to tear the arm off. You have this lever system, and remember that the clavicle rotates the last 30 degrees of abduction, therefore the arm comes up back and you rotate with the clavicle. You don't try to tear off like so many people reach out here and pull, and you wind up with strain in a rotator cuff, not a real climb builder. From here you can take out this magnet after they traction a little bit, and again pick up your tuners with or without a plasma charge, and relax the head with the sounder, which is this little magnetic plate, and work into the hard places with the little steel ball. So what we've done is take and put a steel ball onto the end of a tuning fork that has the ohm frequency, added a magnet, and you have a really nice device that has a lot of potential. Creates piezoelectric induction. The frequency is a muscle relaxer. Magnetics creates the anti-inflammatory effect that magnetics are patented for. And just quite the release. Just really loosens it up. If you want to do some cranial work, all you have to do is reach up here, switch pieces. Now you want to use the tuner part here with the magnetic plate because it will oscillate in the skull. Acts more like a speaker and break loose areas like the bregma and all the various plates, temporal plate, parietal plate, and go through all the sutures. You can do TMJ work the same way. Just drag up and ask them, open your mouth, and just work that area. Just drag, 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 drag. And you'll find quite the relaxation. Turn your head again, please. Keep charging these tuners. And such a nice way of doing that. So many ways we can't tell you all. What we are saying are we have some really cool products. We have MRNDs, magnetic resonating neural disruptors. We have a plasma charging system. We have magnetics. We have a DVR. We have a way of discharging free radicals and recharging your body with new electrons. We have a way of changing your structure while you're lying here. With or without us, it will improve you. But this is for your therapists. Consequently, I can't tell you all the things you can do, but as you can see, it just keeps on going. The key is, do as easy as you can for both of you, because it wears both of you. If you can't find the acupoints, get your little Geiger counter meter. We have those little devices. They find the hot spots, the trigger points, and work on them. We don't really work on trigger points. We change the structural pressure that causes the trigger point, and that gets down to the bottom of it. Now we're going to take this out. You're going to roll to your left to sit up. We have one more option. If we have some really non-compliant people, slide all the way back to your buddy's just coming off the edge. I'm going to put this right behind him, so that DVR is going to be locked up against his sacrum. He's going to reach out as far as he can. It's going to lock next to his back. And while he's bent forward, I can sit here using the tuners, loosen everything up. He'll have that big induction working on his sacrum plus a sacral compression. We'll work in this direction. His head can work for you. And then, of course, we can wind up rotating way over here to work on a rotated rib and just pop them back in place by breaking up the connective tissue. The bones follow the muscles, which follow the gristle. So our rule is we don't look at bones and muscles anymore. We look at gristle. All right? And that's a wonderful way to work this. I won't tell you how to go about it. Our bench work regiments can be applied to this. All we've done is come up with another way of facilitating a release of the tissue. And we want to facilitate release of connective tissue. That is what has us. We're glued down in gravity in a bag of water. The water's in the connective tissue. You can't squeeze water. The nerves, vessels become compressed and stuck on. Now you have trapped nerves. You have crushed nerves. If it's not bleeding, broken, or infected, you can help it because you just think. Burning, pins, needles, and numbness equals compressed nerves. Sharp bite me equals tethered nerves. Find out where those restrictions are. Elongate it, expand it, open it up. Taller is better. And that's the structural model. Put it back where it goes, make it move. Dr. Still. Smooth groove, Ida Rolf. Clean that groove. Everybody has their mantras. Look for the one-liners. The how of the diaphragm is the why of the body. And when you can understand that one, you've learned something. If you don't know that one, come check out one of my classes. Okay? So, turn your feet in and stand up again. Turn sideways. And I don't have to ask you, even there you can see on your side, Chromion tumeatus, much straighter person. Okay. And that concludes Dynamic Body Remodeling. Any questions, give us a call. Thank you for your time, and I hope you can use this information and make it yours. Energy work, structural work, you can do them both because you should be able to. They're yours to do. Thank you.